Well, last time we were discussing on the properties of equality, okay, in which you should have a background knowledge of the properties of equality, since this will guide you in operating the operations of algebraic expressions, the fundamental operations. So these properties of equality will guide you and will help you to be able to operate effectively the algebraic expressions. As we were saying, we have the different properties. In addition, we have the reflexive property of equality, we have the associative, we have the distributive, we have the additive property of equality, and we have the additive inverse property of equality. And then in multiplication, likewise, we have the identity property of multiplication, we have the associative property of multiplication, then we have the commutative property of multiplication, we have the distributive property, we have the symmetric property of equality, okay. And then we have the multiplicative inverse property of equality. Okay, so for today's video lesson, we will dive in right away to the factoring of special products. So factoring is difficult for high school students to tackle, especially if they lack background on the special products. The special products. So a prerequisite to this lesson would be the capability of students to manipulate or to operate special products. So this should be their background knowledge, be able to tackle the factoring special products. So as we can see on the monitor, so we have factor special products. So we have special products, we have a perfect square trinomial. So how do you familiarize yourself, or how do you detect that as special product is a perfect square trinomial? So it is a very important skill, detecting a perfect square trinomial, so that you will be able to factor it accordingly. Okay, you will be able to factor a perfect square trinomial. And then, very important, another special product is the difference of two squares. So what are the elements, or what are the characteristics of difference of two squares? Okay. So if you know the elements, you know the characteristics of a difference of two squares, you will be able to factor it easily. Okay? And then you have another special product, the sum and difference of two cubes. The sum and difference of cubes. Okay. So how can you detect or recognize a sum and difference of cubes? So if you know to detect, if you know to recognize, and know the elements of the sum and difference of cubes, you will be able to factor comfortably the sum and difference of cubes. Okay. So those are one of our learning objectives. And the last for our learning objective is to choose method to factor a polynomial completely. Okay? So you are going to choose a method, whether you are going to factor it by using the strategy in factoring a perfect square trinomial, or you apply the method in factoring a difference of two squares, and then you apply a method in factoring the sum and difference of two cubes. So as we can see, before diving in, we should have a review. Okay. So here, simplify 12x squared. So as we can notice, so you have two factors, 12 and x. So you are going to square 12, the factor 12, and then you are going to square x. So you will get here 144 x squared as your product. And then, okay, and then you have multiply m plus 4 quantity squared. Okay, so how do you get the product? So to get the product, you are going to square the first term. Okay, you will get m squared for the first term in the product. Then you are going to multiply the first term and the second term. You will get 4m, and then multiply it by 2, so you will get 8m for the middle term or the second term. And then for the last term in the product, you square the second term, positive 4, you get 16. So the product for this will be m squared plus 8m plus 16. Okay. Then for the third one, you have p minus 9 quantity squared. So to get the product, so you get the square of the first term, this one, so that would be p squared. Then multiply this one and this one, you get negative 9p. Then multiply it by 2, you will get negative 18p. Then you square the second term, negative 9 squared, and you will get positive 81. So that the product of p minus 9 quantity squared, you will get p squared negative 18p plus 81. And then for the last one here, multiply k plus 3 times k minus 3. Okay? So as you can see, this is a product of two binomials. You have k plus 3, and then you have the other one, you have k minus 3. So how do you get the product? Okay, so as you can notice, you will multiply k times k, you will get k squared. Then you will multiply this one, you will get positive 3 times k, you will get positive 3k. Then you will multiply this one by this one, you will get negative. This one by this one, you will multiply positive 3k. Then you will get the product of this one and this one. Okay, you will get negative 3k. So adding that, plus 3k and plus negative 3k, you will get 0. Okay? And then you multiply this one times this one, you will get a negative 9. So that the product of this one would be equal to k squared negative 9. Okay? So we come to our first topic, to factor perfect square trinomials. So as you can see, some trinomials are perfect squares. Okay? So if you have a trinomial, some trinomials are perfect squares. Okay? the result from multiplying a binomial times itself. So a perfect square trinomial is a result of multiplying a binomial by itself. So let us say a plus b times a plus b. It will result to a perfect square trinomial. Okay. A minus b times a minus b. So you will get a minus b times a minus b will result to a perfect square trinomial. Okay. So as you have here 3x plus 4. Okay. So to get the product, you will have 3x plus 4 times 3x plus 4. So I mean you have 3x plus 4 quantity squared. Okay, if you get the product, you have 3x plus 4 times 3x plus 4. So since the exponent is 2, you will multiply this 2 times. Okay? That is why you have 3x plus 4 times 3x plus 4. Okay. Then, you will now apply the FOIL method. So FOIL meaning the first term in the product is that you are going to multiply the first term times the first term. So that is f. Okay? Or that is f. And then you have the O. The O means outer product. So you have the outer. This one, the outer. So you are going to multiply the outer terms. So you have 3x plus 4 and you will get a plus 12x. And then the I, you are going to multiply the inner terms. So you have plus 4 times 3x, you will get a positive 12x. And then the L, you have the last term. Okay? The last term. This one and this one. Okay? The last term in the factors. Okay? So, positive 4 times positive 4, you will get a positive 16. So that is why the product now is 9x squared plus 24x plus 16. Okay, as you can notice, the first term is the square of the first term of the binomial. Okay. And the last term is the square of the last. Okay. So as you can notice here, the first term is the square of the first term of the binomial. Now, this one, as you can notice, the square of the first term. And the last term is the square of the second term of the binomial. So plus 4, you will get 16. And the middle term, which is positive 24x, as you can notice, it is the product of the first term and the second term of the binomial multiplied by 2. Yes, you can notice 3x plus 4 is 12x times 2. So you will get a positive 24x. Okay. Now this trinomial, we call this a perfect square trinomial, this product. So it is a special product. It is the square of the binomial 3x plus 4. Okay. So we are going to look at it, as you can notice. Okay. So if you have given a binomial, let us say the square of a plus b quantity squared, so you get the product a squared, meaning that is the square of the first term. Then the middle term would be the product of the first and the second term, a times b multiplied by 2, so you will get 2ab. Then the square of the second term, which is b squared.